Okay, here we go. I got a new video for you. I had a great question that came up in the comments section of my video, and it was, David asked, why are so many homes for sale? Great question. So I was first going to respond and tell him why, and then I said, that's a terrific video. So I've come up with 5 reasons why there's right now so many houses on the market in the villages. Number 1, money. Yes, you've got it right, money. Houses purchased in 2020, 2021 were way lower than they are today. The market has changed. Everybody knows that the price of homes in 2022 and 2023 increased. So a lot of homes in here are worth $150,000 to $200,000 more than those individuals paid for their houses. It's not an absolute number. Some people are more, some people are less, but their houses increased dramatically. And so they're flipping their house. That's what's happening. They flip their house, or they decide, let's take the money and run. Maybe I have 2 homes and this is a vacation home. Maybe it's time to get out, cash in, they don't come enough. Whatever that reason is, they're taking the money. Because I know some $300,000 homes that were sold in 2021 have been flipped within the last year for like $450,000, $430,000. And when you do that, even if you listen to David is in Florida and he tells you the average discount is 5%, it's like $25,000. It's not a big deal when you're talking $150,000 to $200,000. You can make that price cut. That's one of the reasons I believe, and this is all my belief. I don't want anybody to think I have all the answers, but that's reason number 1. Reason number 2 is kind of the economy and interest rates. Right now, if you don't have the cash to purchase, it's much harder, because if you need to borrow like a second home or any of those kind of things with the interest rates where they are, I think it's pricing a lot of buyers out of the market. Not saying that the houses aren't being sold. I'm just saying a segment is being kind of locked off. I think this adds to the reason why more houses now are on the market than are being sold. It's kind of each one of these things is adding to the top. Number three. This is a common one. This was one before all of these homes were on the market, but as the villages gets bigger and bigger, you have to think about this item being multiplied. It was very common when I purchased that I was told people who moved to the villages moved 3 times. If you went from, 80,000 homes to 100,000 homes, and everybody moves 3 times, you're adding to that. Every year goes by that they add another 10,000 homes. You're adding to that compounding factor. And so number 3 is purchasing another home somewhere else in the villages. And let's talk about why people change homes. They want a bigger house. Sometimes they got it as a vacation home, bought a villa. Now they want to move to a designer home permanently. They need to buy another house. They want a pool. They like a different neighborhood. They learned where they lived wasn't the greatest and that they want to move someplace else. They want to be closer to the town square. I get it. Maybe they're not living next door to the most friendly neighbors that... Okay, it's a reality. We're all people. You get people that aren't on the same wavelength as you. Maybe your neighbors, and it's just not working. So some people, it just happens. Also, and these are a couple of different things to look out for if you're interested in purchasing, or people find out once they get here. If you live near a pickleball court, the noise is a lot at some point. Some people don't like it because if they're out on the lanai, all they can hear is ping, 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 ping. They don't like it. Another one is being next to a main road. And a main road can not only be traffic, car noise, but they have the reflective markers in the middle of the road. And if cars hit that all the time, it makes a lot of noise. So look at where you're at. The other item is the golf cart or the multimodal trails. Some of the multimodal trails go right between all the houses. There's a good one in Chitty Chatty that goes right up the power line and in between homes. And I know I have talked to some people who bought homes along there that have moved to other villages over time. They didn't realize so many golf carts are going to go along that golf cart path to the shopping plaza and stuff that's just over 44. Bike trails, those things that they may have had a vision of what it's like, maybe they're the only ones on it. That's not the case. Even golf courses. Are you ready for lawn mowing at 6:30 a.m. or 7 o'clock in the morning? Are you ready for all of the sprinklers running all the time? Are you ready for your house being hit by golf balls? Not everybody likes that. Not everybody. People find that out later. They go, oh, looks beautiful. But then you've got golfers every day. How close are they to your home? So that leads me to number 4. I'm up to number 4. Number 4 is a big one. It's one that gets talked about. Going back home. Wherever that is, going back home. And usually it's missing the family. The kids are back there. The grandkids are back there. Maybe even you have to take care of an elderly parent that has come up after you moved here, but you need to go back. You might put your house on the market. Sometimes you and your spouse, the villages isn't right for you. That sometimes happens. I've heard many stories where one of the persons likes the villages more than the other. Sometimes it's your age. You need assistance. Not everybody is 55. When you get older and you start to need assistance or help, it may mean that you need to move back home to be near family to help you out. I see that quite a bit. This is a retirement community. So you have the ages, you have the people who have been here a long time. And that happens a lot in the older sections that they're turning over their houses. Number 5 was a little tricky for me to put, but it's one in which I've had some personal conversations with people. The villages is not the same without your partner. Sometimes what happens in the villages is you lose a spouse while you're here. And I know my first year here, I met a gentleman who was struggling. He was struggling because his wife passed away, and he was struggling his wife was the major, how do you want to say this, outgoing person who would make sure he goes to clubs or make sure he plays cards or make sure he does things. She would, drag him along. Well, now that she passed, he was struggling. She was the one person that made things happen. Now, this can also happen another way. Sometimes women who lose their husbands, they struggle in the villages in the sense that it's just not the same situation. They might have to downsize their home. It's not quite the same even for them. So I would tell you that I don't want to sugarcoat it. The villages, it depends on your personality, but this is a very sad time for many of them. It's a difficult, emotional stage they go through, and they can't relate to everybody that is not going through it with them in the villages. So sometimes they put their houses on the market and downsize or move elsewhere. So in summary, after all 5 of those, most of these are not because they are unhappy with the villages. Houses going on sale are not necessarily they don't like the villages. It's because other priorities come into play. And I think that's an important thing. I hope this helps David's original question, why there are so many homes on the market. And I think a lot right now, a number of things have collided. I think the economy, interest rates, the value of the homes and how much they've gone up all play a role in many's decision to make those changes. So I wanted to put this together. I thought it was a great question, one in which we'll get a lot of people thinking. And you'll be surprised how many people are here 2 or 3 years and then say, maybe I want to go to the new section. Maybe I want to buy in another. And that's great. That's great. So people do move. I think that is compounding, that whole buy 3 times. At first, I didn't really believe it. I took a lot of effort to try to pick the right house for the long term. But even I'm looking at a new village, a new house, even I on occasion think, wouldn't it be nice to have a pool? I know many of you are going to say there's 114 pools, there's plenty. It's just what you want in the villages. You have to kind of look at all those things. But I'm not saying I'm moving. My wife would agree. She would go in a heartbeat. I'm not really moving at this point. I love my house. I like it here in the villages. But those are the top 5 reasons. Hope you've enjoyed this video. Hey, if you haven't made a comment, if you have a different reason, put it in the comments below. Helps me out. If you have an idea for a different video, put it in the comment. I don't guarantee I will do it, but there's a good chance I might. I don't think David ever thought I would go ahead and do a video to answer his question. Thanks for watching. Stop me and say hi in the villages.